In this video, we're going to talk about the great dilemma of overthinking and 5 signs you might be a classic, clear-cut overthinker, and 3 tips to help you shut it down. Sit tight.
Stop, stop, stop.
So why are we all overthinkers? Why do we live so much in the future that we forget to live in the present and enjoy ourselves? Well, let's talk about it today. So I'm going to give you some signs that you may be a classified overthinker, although you probably know that you are already, but this is just kind of reinforcement that you're checking all those boxes and how we can kind of help you out a little bit today. And the first one is trouble sleeping. So if you have trouble sleeping, as soon as night rolls around, quiet, silence, when you don't have things to do, your body may be still, but the mind, that's when it is the loudest, and it's churning and churning and churning and churning, and you're trying to get it to shut off, and it won't shut off, okay? So that's number 1. Number 2 is fatigue. So just as physical manual labor exhausts us, so can thinking in excess. Not so much just thinking, but thinking in excess, thinking too much, overthinking, exhausts our body, exhausts the chi in the blood in our body, can deplete us over time when we're ruminating too much. Number 3, you have decision paralysis. You will weigh those pros and cons until it beats you up inside. You just can't make a decision. And what that is, it's stagnant energy. So not only are you using up energy by overthinking, but you're creating it to just stagnate because you're not taking action. It's like stuck. Number 4, your friends get a little annoyed with you. They tell you to chill out. You're obsessing too much. It's like, just move, man, just move. They may call you a perfectionist sometimes, and you can't help it. You're a classified overthinker. And number 5, which I kind of already mentioned before, you have trouble enjoying yourself because you're never actually here now in the present moment. You're always living in the future. What's next? What's next? What's next? So how do we stop it? How do we shut our brain down? Well, here's the first one tip before I get into the other tips, is that you're never going to be able to shut your brain down completely. The switch is always on. Even if you meditate, sure, you can get to a place of nothingness, but how many people can actually do that? Even people who have been, practicing meditation for years can't get their brain to shut completely off. It's very, very difficult. So don't think in 5 minutes, okay, I'm gonna meditate each morning and all the thoughts are cleared. You can try it, but the majority of humans in this world, in society, and I'm not labeling here, have a difficult time doing that. So let me give you some other tips other than meditation, because you already know that, right? That can help. Number 1 tip, don't overthink it. Just kidding, that will never work with you. Number 1 tip, create a worry jar. And it doesn't have to be an actual jar, but what we want to do is get thoughts out that are clogged, that are stuck up here, and get them out of us somehow. So whether that's a worry jar, whether it's writing down our worries, whether it's talking to a friend, talking to a therapist, just talking to yourself in the mirror, all of these things that are stuck up here, we want to move that stuck energy out. Okay? And we don't want to necessarily project onto people or anything like that, or vent too much where we're pissing off our friends. But we want to move it a little bit, at least. Because what happens, we get one worry that pops into our head. And it might not even be a big worry, but how the system of our brain is set up, it's almost like not only a pressure cooker where one little thought can, festering and boiling can turn into much more, or turn into 500, 5,000 worries. But we're set up like a computer for the worst possible outcome. And this system, what it does, it tries to search like a computer for similar worries, similar rejections, things that have happened in our past. And it's trying to connect that to what we're worrying about now to protect us. It's a protective mechanism, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. So if we can start to move those things out, not let them fester in here, that's going to help. The next tip is to separate the reality from the illusion. Like I said, we're going to come up with different scenarios to try to protect this whole thing. And part of that is practicing being out of control a little bit. So the illusion of control, it comes with overthinking things and trying to predict every move we're making, even though we know that life throws us loops all the time. It's very unpredictable. So that's the reality of it. Deciphering that from the illusion we've created in our brain that we can control it all, that we do have control over every little circumstance that happens in our life. And a big part of that is also looking at the big picture, the grand scheme of things, the grand scheme of the universe, and finding the bottom line. So what is it that you're really scared of when you're overthinking something? And this connects to that worry jar and getting it out of you and picking apart all these little worries you have. Is it love? Is it fear of being rejected? Is it safety, security in your life? Usually it comes down to just a human emotion. And we have to figure out what that is. And that's the reality of it versus the illusion that we create that I need to be in control all the time or the world's going to blow up. No. So take little steps to be out of control sometimes. Not anything huge. You have to take baby steps, because if you're a classic overthinker and you have decision paralysis, it's going to be very difficult to make a decision, to not weigh pros and cons all the time. You've trained yourself your whole life probably that way. So that is how the system is set up. And we have to retrain the system, and that starts with little baby steps, feeling out of control, letting somebody else take the steering wheel for you sometimes and make a decision instead of you being like, just moving in a certain direction. If you're toggling between 2 jobs or something like that, or 2 people even, just kind of take a baby step in one direction. Because you know what happens, and this is part of changing perspective on things, even if you make the wrong decision, and there are no wrong decisions, that's why I'm putting it in air quotes, the universe, you'll be redirected in life. Sometimes it's just a little detour, but sometimes that detour is for your highest good. Sometimes it's needed, so that's actually the right decision and not the wrong decision. So there is no right, there is no wrong. That is just the map, the system, the illusion of you telling yourself that. Okay? Oh, but it's a better decision. And it's not. No, you will be redirected in life. There's always learning from doing anything in life. So when you're overthinking something to death, just realize you're exhausting yourself, exhausting your energy. Number 3, and something that is maybe not thought about a lot, even though you're an overthinker, you don't think about this, look to your health. Sometimes overthinking can be a sign that the body is deficient in some way. So it's the connection with and taking care of your physical health, but also your mental, emotional, and spiritual health. Everything is connected. If you follow some of my other content on Eastern medicine, you'll see that there's a lot of stuff about holistic therapies and holistic medicine and Chinese medicine, and how everything affects everything else, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. So sometimes when we are an overthinker, it can mean that something is off in either our diets, our sleep cycles, stress levels, just in day-to-day life. Stress can cause us to be rigid, so we can't make decisions. The energy is stagnant, it's stuck, or it's stuck up here, it's stuck anywhere in the body. That can manifest as pain, but it could also manifest as stuck thoughts, like emotional constipation. But also, what did I say? Like nutrition as well. You're eating a lot of sugar, you're eating a lot of processed foods can make foggy thinking, make us feel tired and fatigued and lazy sometimes, where we can't have a clear head and make clear decisions, or we may feel frustrated a lot. That can be stagnant energy as well in the body. So we want to move things out, like I said, with that worry jar tip, but also we want to make sure we're taking care of ourselves, because that's going to give us a clear head. It's going to make us feel more grounded in our lives, not so insecure. So when you're thinking of the bottom line and all the fears that you're having, this can connect to our lifestyle and how we're taking care of ourselves as well. So just pay attention to what you're eating, how much you're sleeping, what your stress levels are like. If you feel frustrated all the time, realize that that's energy, that's stuff not moving in your body. You're constipated, essentially. So anyway, I hope this video was helpful for you, at least a little bit, and you didn't overthink things too much, or hopefully I didn't overthink it too much. But anyway, if you want more content, subscribe, hit that like button, leave me some comments, let me know what you think. If you have any other tips that you have tried for overthinking, again, it's not about shutting down the brain necessarily. It's about accepting thoughts when they come in, but not holding on and attaching to a thought and where it becomes stuck in there, or where it's like that magnet that's attracting similar negative thoughts to it. And before you know it, your head is like this big of worries. It's not about trying to repress those worries. It's about allowing them to be there as well and letting them, okay, having worry, having fears, having insecurities is completely normal. So the moment we try to punch it in the face and stuff it down, sometimes it makes it worse. Okay, so anyway, have a great day, and I will see you on the next video. Peace out.